History on the mix.
You remember how it was when we were forming the foundation? I remember when I was processing everything, and I shared with you the idea that we needed to come up with the foundation. Do you remember how it was?
Yeah, actually, if I remember very well, it was a year 2009. Yeah, the year was 2009, and it was, I don't remember the actual date, but I remember I was going for a holiday. We had closed our schools, and so I was going to one of my brother uncle's place. And then I think before I was leaving the following day, you called me and said, "Look, I have this idea. If we can form a foundation where you and I can be running it, and we are probably managing it." Yeah, so we were very young at that time. I think I should have been grade 5 or so, and you should have been 9. But when you brought it out, I think I remember I said, "Look, it's something that would be a game changer," because at that point we were very young. But you told me that you wanted to scribble it down in a book. And I think you used one of those books that I think that should have been a chemistry or maths book behind, and then you scribbled down the objectives.
I remember sharing with you the motives behind the foundation, and I'd mentioned to you to say, look, having coming to stay with you after I was staying with my mother, she passed on. After staying with my auntie, she passed on, and then we reconnected. It was a moment of reflection. I was thinking about my life and how exactly I'd felt, because I was given an opportunity to get an education and everything. Then I realized that a lot of people do not have such kind of an opportunity, to get to school and everything. That is the idea where everything came from, and I'm glad that you had jumped on the idea, and we co-founded the Kelvin Nyirongo Hope Foundation. Yeah, we were very, very young, and certainly it was actually impossible to think about forming the foundation. But also, what was stunning is, I was in my most vulnerable state, So I just wanted to pick your ideas on why you believed in my idea and why you did not look down upon my ideas. And I remember actually when I shared with you, you actually did not only agree to the idea, you had spent the night, trying to scribble down, working together, and putting up all the ideas together. So, now maybe I could ask you, why did you believe in me when I came to you, when probably I was mostly in the most vulnerable state?
That's a very simple question. Difficult question, but with a very simple answer. Because I simply look up to you. You have been a figure of an eldership in the house, or rather, a brotherly figure, an older brother figure, someone who one can rely on. And at that time, I had someone to have a shoulder to lean on. But also, the other thing that I saw with you, especially when you were growing up, is you sort of blended well with leadership organizations. I don't want to call them organizations. For example, you won best jets. What was that?
Yes, that's cool, yeah.
Yes. You are also...
I was a Jets president.
Jets president.
Yes.
But also you won best debate.
Yes.
You also a debate president.
Yes, I was also a debate president.
And then you also a head boy.
Yes. And
a monitor.
But
you see, each time I would ask you, but how do they choose you? You would inspire me to say, my man, these are the things that you ought to do. Yeah, so at that point I knew, look, it's a do or die situation. Yeah, and then also brought it out to me that you wanted to start an orphanage. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's in those things, and you're talking to someone who is in grade 5 about these issues. They're inspired, and that was the initiation of the KNHF, and here we are today. Foundation has had its roots, memories, and just the dream of 2 young boys who just want to help and also bring to life what they actually had planned for in future.
You inspired me a lot because what was humbling is exactly what I've said, that during that time I was in my most vulnerable state, but you chose not to look down on me. You chose to believe the vision. We came out to say we formed the Kelvin Nyirongo Hope Foundation. We had a lot of backlash. Remember, people did not believe in us, including some people that were expected to support us. We heard things, you're not going anywhere, and everything. So for me, I must mention that much of what we have achieved today is because you believed in me, and also you saw a bigger picture, like you have said, in me. Because even the time I was thinking about coming to you to share the ideas, I was contemplating, look, this is the me sharing with this person what I feel we should do. I was also thinking about it, like, is this person going to buy into the idea? Because, you know, no normal person can believe you, when you're in a vulnerable state and somebody say, no, I want to do this and want to achieve this. So I think it was a humbling experience, and it still remains a humbling experience that you are able to jump in with me. And actually, remember running the foundation, where we founded it in our parents' home in Kafiwe, and also we went to Southern Province in Sinazongwe. I remember when I went for work there, where we continued to run the foundation. So I remember we ran it for some time before we could register it, putting up the members together and everything. Yeah. So in 2017, we officially registered the foundation, so that it can be a full entity operating under the laws of Zambia, in order to empower the vulnerable in society, in education, sports, and issues to do with climate change. Then from there, we've never looked back. We've gone ahead and implemented a lot of projects. We had a lot of challenges, especially in the inception, and one of the major challenges, you remember, was finances, because we were doing everything, the two of us, remember, looking for money to help out the vulnerable in our society, taking kids to school and everything. I think that was a huge challenge. for us to do. And you remember, before people would know their ideas and everything, even if we got our partners, nothing was coming out. We still continued to ponder on our pockets and everything. Of course, what the one or two well-wishers who came in and everything. And of course, like I said earlier on, we did not have the belief that people did not believe in us to look at the bigger picture of what we wanted to do as a foundation. So it was a drawback, because the person that is supposed to believe in you did not believe in you, and it was one of the major issues that we had in terms of progressing and everything. Yeah, so those are some of the challenges I think that we faced.
The things I would take out was, remember when we had a fundraising and we were the only ones
yes
present.
The first fundraising venture we had, yes,
exactly. And
no one came.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that didn't stop us.
Yeah.
And also, just to make it known that we also had the first executive of the foundation. At that time, it was called the Hope Foundation. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
It was called the Hope Foundation. But then we said, look, we need to foster what we believe in. We need to tell people exactly what we believe in. And at that point, I remember very well, one of the directors resigning and said, look, I don't see the vision of this foundation, and so I'm putting in my resignation letter. It was a shock for us. Before long, our finance guy left, administration left, and
we remained the two of us again.
We are back to square one.
Yeah.
But at that point, we said, look, maybe we should be quite. We should play it different this time in terms of how we bring people on board, and so that we don't face the same challenges that we face.
So that was one of
the
major challenges.
And coming to what we have right now, we have a perfect executive, we have a perfect board, and the foundation is growing.
Yeah, so we can say progress is never a straight line. You'll have to face challenges.
Definitely.
You have to face challenges. Yeah. No, I remember that was a very, very difficult moment for the foundation, because we're building a team and suddenly leaves, and then we again remain the two of us.
So the foundation actually has a print in Zambia, and generally Lusaka and Kafue, and one of the activities that we're actually undertaking right now, or that we do undertake as a foundation, to mention but a few, is currently we are feeding close to about 200 children with one of our partners, and it's an ongoing project. It's not easy because we do sometimes have challenges when it comes to finances. I think you remember those other times where we actually had to use sometimes our own monies, when our funders, or rather our partners, couldn't come on board. So that's also ongoing. The other one, which I think you might also know, is through sport. So we know that the youths of nowadays love sport, and to be specific, I'm talking about football or soccer. So the foundation actually sponsors a tournament in Kafue, which is mostly every year, sometimes once a year, sometimes twice a year. So we do an independence tournament, sometimes we do a Christmas tournament. And with that, we try to deter youths from engaging in bad vices during that time. And so the numbers have actually been good, because the tournament runs for a long period of time, and everyone is glued to the sport. So looking at what the community says about such initiative, I think it's a plus.
Yeah, it's a plus. And also remember that we have key success stories where a lot of young people have empowered under, like you said, to be specific, soccer. That started from the shanty compounds, are now playing in major leagues. So what does that tell? They're now looking after their families. They're now taking their siblings and their dependents to school, which is a very good success story for me, and some of them who've actually documented them when you check on our pages and everything, which is a very good success story. So yeah, you're right, that is one of the very, very good impactful projects. But remember also that under the education sector, we have empowered close to 300 vulnerable children across Zambia. Like you have said, we Chilabombwe, in the outskirts of Lusaka, partly of Southern Province, Kushi, where we are dotted as a foundation. We have empowered a lot of young people in terms of education, which is our core aspect in the foundation. So those are some of the success stories, and with other partners that have come up on board, we are now also empowering women, you know, in different skills that are undertaken through the foundation. So those are some of the success stories that we've recorded over the years, and the numbers are there. So it gives me a smile to see that we've reached this far in terms of impacting our communities. Yeah. You know, Mr. Nchito, government cannot also do everything alone, and that's why such initiatives are appreciated to also help government in terms of other issues that the government is trying to pursue. Yeah. So those are some of the success stories that we've recorded so far.
Yeah, speaking of the government, I think the foundation has taken a focal point in terms of national heritage sites.
Yes.
Like the KK House. Mm-hmm. I think that has been one of our major concentration, apart from what we do, just to let people know about what KK did for this country. I think that is something not really related to the foundation, but we take keen interest, and we've signed an MOU, right?
Yeah.
And every year we do invite ambassadors from different types of countries just to come and appreciate what we have as a country. Yeah, so I think you are right on that one.
Yeah, those are some of the success stories that we've. I'm glad that over the years we've had very impactful partnerships that we've had, and this has been by the grace of God. We have we're partners now with Turkish Embassy, which came on board, and we are running the Women Empowerment Project. And so far we have seen the project empower over 100 women, and it's ongoing. We are now partnerships with the African Philanthropy Network, which is a larger network in Africa. We are part of that, and as you saw, we attended the conference last year in Zimbabwe, where a lot of key things came up. We are also in partnership with Be Relevant, a big growing organization in Zambia run by a fellow young person. We are also in partnership with AAAZ, Alliance for Accountability Zambia. Just to mention some of them, St. Charity, we are also in partnership with them and everything. So the foundation has really scored on the partnerships, and we're doing different projects, including Humanity Challenge organization. We are doing different projects with them.
We also are in partnership with Shine Zambia. Yeah, I think
where we're conducting the feeding program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is a great foundation, and they're doing wonderful things, you know. and we do come on board, and they're a great partner. Even Humanity Challenge, run by Mr. Chibutu. Yeah, it's been a good foundation and a good partnership. And speaking of the government, national heritage as well, you know, where we signed an MOU with them over the KK house. Yeah, so the foundation indeed is growing, and looking at the plans that we have for the coming years, I think it's something that is you'd say that we're on the right project. One of the key points that we want to really work on is partnership. You know, we've seen the importance of partnership. I know you talked about APN, the Turkish embassy, and so on and so forth. And these guys have been a great deal to our foundation. And so for now, we really want to focus on growing the circle of the partners that will come on board for the common good of the foundation. I think that's one of the most important things that we should look at.
Yeah, actually, you're right from there, because, you know, without partnerships, we can't go anywhere.
Yeah. And
like you have said, we've seen the impact of partnerships that we've had and what we've been able to do for our communities, you know, helping them rise to the challenges and the empowerments that we've been able to conduct here. So also is to look at just continue to empower our communities in terms of the vulnerable in education. As you heard what the great Nelson Mandela said, that education is the most powerful tool you can use. So for me, also we need to continue empowering the vulnerable in our community in terms of giving them the tool of education.
Exactly.
Like we have been doing with a lot of schools that we are sponsoring. A lot of young people want to also major in terms of our fundraising venture, so that we can raise enough money to cater for a lot of vulnerable children, but also an appeal to those who may wish to partner with us in terms of education, in terms of what, to come on board also. That's a long-term plan, so that we can continue to empower our communities, making sure that we continue to shape our communities like we have done in terms of education, engaging them in life skills, and also in terms of imparting knowledge in the young people like we have done. So those are our future plans that we want to do to see the foundation grow and cater obviously across the whole Zambia to make sure that everyone can benefit from the projects that we are doing. Yeah. So it's been great catching up, boss.
It is what it is.
Here we are.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.